Have you ever noticed that when you coddle your kid too much, they'll probably do something crazy just to show how grown up they are? Well, that's what Clyde's dads found out in the episode I'm going to talk about today. So join me as I, SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, bring you another retro review from past seasons of The Loud House. Cue the intro! Today's episode is Snow Way Down. In this episode, Clyde wants his dads to stop being so overprotective when he and Lincoln go on a winter vacation. For this being the final episode of Season 2, it's an episode I don't really want to hate because, at face value, I'm willing to sympathize with Clyde's dads since they only wanted to make sure his son and his friend were safe while in their care. As a parent, you have a responsibility to protect your child at any cost, and warning them not to do something dangerous like going down the ramp of insanity is what a good parent should do. In fact, Clyde was originally intending to go down the ramp as a way of proving he's not a baby anymore, but then he backed out when he realized his dads were right about how dangerous it would have been for him to do it. Him not taking that risk, at least before the final 2 minutes of the episode, actually validated all of Harold and Howard's prior instances of them trying to prevent Clyde from getting hurt, meaning they knew from the beginning what was in his best interest and Clyde was smart enough to listen to them. However, Harold and Howard's overprotective nature is part of the reason why I don't exactly love the episode. While it's true I did laugh at some of the measures they took to shield Clyde and Lincoln from anything that could potentially hurt them, like them doing a slow motion jump in front of the snowballs and making sure they wouldn't slip both inside and outside the cabin, some of their other measures came off as more annoying and irritating. From giving the boys cold hot chocolate to wearing seatbelts on the couch and even getting freaked out over the possibility of Clyde developing a future allergy if they referred to him as Peanut, it's not hard to see why Clyde wanted his dads to loosen up. Still, I will say everything that happened at the Ramp of Insanity was the best part of the episode in terms of action, suspense, and character moments. Clyde's dads and Lincoln risked their lives climbing to the top of the ramp just to try and stop Clyde from going down, and Clyde also risked his life trying to climb to the top to rescue them when the ladder broke. But their biggest risk and biggest act of courage was when they all went down the ramp as it started to crumble. Clyde saved the day by releasing a parachute from the sled to lessen the impact of the fall, something he learned from his dads. If Harold and Howard hadn't done something similar with a parachute when Clyde was sledding the day before, things would have turned out much worse. So, in a way, the dynamic between Clyde and his dads illustrated how even though the parents may have gone a bit too far in trying to protect their son from anything hazardous, their way of thinking rubbed off on Clyde. Their son ended up using good judgment in both choosing not to go down the ramp and putting a parachute on his sled if the situation called for it. Seeing how well their son was able to keep himself together under that kind of stress, Harold and Howard agreed Clyde truly is old enough, brave enough, and most of all smart enough to take care of himself, and they finally allow him and Lincoln to have the snowy fun they had wanted to have all along. Overall, this episode teaches a good lesson on how parents always want to look out for the safety and well-being of their kids, but they don't have to go overboard to the point where their kids can't even have fun. All the McBrides had good character growth as the story progressed, and the Ramp of Insanity sequence was the standout moment for all three of them. While some of the more boring and outright stupid attempts to ensure total safety for the kids got to be a bit too much, this was still a good enough episode for the expansion of Harold and Howard's characters. Unfortunately, given the fact I'm reviewing this episode years later when their overprotective nature becomes the recurring basis for other episodes where they have the spotlight, this episode kinda feels useless in the long run since they keep having to learn the same lesson of eventually learning to let go of their constant coddling of Clyde. However, judging this episode solely on what was presented here, I still appreciate their roles for what they were. With that said, I give Snow Way Down a 7.6 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Snow Way Down. So I gotta ask, what did you guys think of this episode? Sound off in the comments below, and be sure to click that subscribe button for more Loud House related content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.